You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.
This is Ghost Talk with 187 PI. Sit back and prepare yourselves for an adventure into the paranormal world with host Shelley Robertson and 187 PI research team. Ghost Talk is broadcasting live from Ohio's most haunted jail. Learn about their ongoing research at the jail and abroad, investigation techniques, and their personal encounters. Here is your host of Ghost Talk and 187 PI founder, Shelley Robertson.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ghost Talk Radio with me as your host, Shelley Robertson. I have an interesting show planned for you tonight, which is Tales of Christmas Hauntings, which it seems so appropriate since we are just days before Christmas. But before we get started, I would like to invite all my listening friends tonight to join me in chat at wbhm-db.com, where you can join in on the conversation, share any stories, or ask me any questions you may have. With Christmas just a few days away, I hope everyone is ready for this holiday season and you aren't like me with all kinds of last-minute things to do. I still have some holiday shopping, gift wrapping, and baking to do, which every year I tell you, I swear, I say this every year, I'm not going to be doing this last-minute stuff next year. But you know what? It never fails. I'm still doing all of this stuff last minute. As you all know, Christmas is a very special time of year. It is a time that we spend with friends and family, and oftentimes it is a time when we get together with our extended family members that we don't see quite as much. And then, of course, it holds special religious meanings for many people as well. It's the one time of year where many people put aside their differences and celebrate togetherness. It's also a very special time of year where those who already have very strong ties and close-knit families, they really enjoy the holiday season. So as you can imagine, if Christmas was such a special holiday in your family with lots of fun and fond memories and special moments, it seems to reason that even if your loved one is deceased, that they will still be present during the celebration and special moments. There has been just many, many reports and accounts from people all over the world, not just from paranormal investigators, but your everyday average normal folks, stating and claiming that they've seen their loved ones who have passed on during the Christmas holiday season or perhaps during their holiday family gathering. It's also been reported thousands of times that folks have oftentimes looked back upon pictures that were taken during their Christmas family gathering only to find that their deceased loved one was also present in the photograph. This has happened far too often for me to discount or discredit that it doesn't happen. I've seen many pictures myself from folks where their deceased family members were present in photographs, or they don't look as bold and bright as what you and I would look, but you can tell they're there. And it seems as though maybe not even death can keep them away from such a special holiday. Now, I personally do not have any accounts of any of my deceased family members showing up in any of my family holiday gathering photographs. And while this may be true, like I said a moment ago, I've seen photographs from others and their family gatherings and their deceased loved ones appearing in the photograph. If any of my listening friends tonight have such a photograph, please, by all means, come to our chat room and tell us about it. And if you have that photograph handy, share it with us. It's so amazing to see photographs with the ghosts of loved ones appearing in them, especially during the holidays. Now let's talk a little bit about the history of Christmas. Just a few little fun facts. I'm not going to give a full-blown history lesson here. It's just a few interesting little tidbits. The earliest known Christmas celebration is recorded in the 4th century manuscript compiled in Rome. This manuscript is thought to record a celebration that occurred in 336. Yes, that is a long time ago. The celebration of the birth of Christ, known today as Christmas, has evolved over many years, and its country of origin remains a subject of controversy. However, most scholars link the earliest celebration of Christmas with pagan festivals that originated in Rome and spread across the entire Roman Empire. It was in the 4th century when the Catholic Church decided to recognize Jesus' birth as an official holiday. It was Pope Julius I who chose December 25th for the Feast of the Nativity. Now that date did happen to coincide with the pagan festival known as the Saturnalia, which must have been, of course, by pure coincidence, folks, because many researchers believe that Jesus wasn't born in December, but he was actually born in the spring. Now, the world saw its first living nativity in 1224 when St. Francis recreated the birth of Jesus to explain the holiday to his followers. During that first display, the manger was also used as an altar for the Christmas Mass. So that's kind of exciting. That long ago, they portrayed the live manger scene. From 1659 to 1681, showing your holiday spirit or showcasing the celebrations in Boston, Massachusetts could get you a hefty fine of up to 5 shillings. Believe it. That's right, folks. Christmas used to be illegal. In the United States, Christmas was officially recognized as a national federal holiday in 1870, with its official date being December 25th. Now, during the Middle Ages, some Christians in Europe started to celebrate the birth of Jesus at this time. Now, even before the arrival of Christianity, Germans decorated evergreen trees to brighten the dark, gloomy days of the winter solstice. The first Christmas trees appeared in Strasbourg, Germany in the 17th century and spread to Pennsylvania in the 1820s with the arrival of the first German immigrants. When Queen Victoria married Germany's Prince Albert in 1840, he brought the tradition to England. 8 years later, the first American newspaper ran a picture of the royal Christmas tree, and as you can imagine, Americans outside Pennsylvania quickly followed suit. And then from that time after, you see, we have our decorated Christmas trees. Now, while Christmas time should be full of holiday cheer and celebrations, that isn't always the case. Christmas time does not get a free pass from crimes and murders and horrific happenings. Some of the most brutal and heinous crimes have actually happened on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. It is well known and a presumed fact that many hauntings as well as paranormal activity occur around tragic events and untimely deaths. Sometimes the people that were victims of such horrific crimes and murders, especially around holidays, namely Christmas, which is the topic of discussion tonight, maybe these folks had unfinished business. Maybe they don't realize they're dead. Maybe they were so attached to the holiday season or their home or their friends and family. And maybe, just maybe, they return around Christmas time because it is the anniversary of their death, or possibly they still want to celebrate the holiday with their friends and family, the people that they were closest to. Of course, we don't know the answer to all of these questions of why such hauntings actually occur. We can only speculate the reasons through logic, constant research, and peer-reviewed findings to give us answers and to tell us why these are happenings. And sometimes, depending on the location and the circumstances and the severity of the tragic event, maybe the material of the surroundings, sometimes the energy from these events leave imprints and much like timestamps on the environment that play like an old movie over and over again when certain conditions are met or when certain conditions are just right for it to happen. Tragic events and horrific murders that have happened at Christmas all over the world, and these have happened for many decades. Many of these tragic events I'm going to tell you about all have reported hauntings of one kind or another at the location of the crime scene or the burial spots of the people. Some of the hauntings occur in the general vicinity or location of the crime. Now, this happens sometime, we believe. Let's say, for an example, a tragic murder took place in a house that is no longer standing. However, the spirit of the deceased being attached to the property may still roam the grounds, where the house was built. Oftentimes, tearing down an old structure and building a new structure on the same land does not prevent or remove the haunting. Countless cases and investigations have proven this fact. So now let's get to some of the hauntings and the stories that evolved and are reported to have happened at Christmas time, shall we? One of the saddest cases, and one that I have followed extensively when it happened and throughout the years, and when there's recent developments and updates, I follow it still today. I know most of you are going to be familiar with this case because it was splashed all over the headlines for years and years. And that was the JonBenét Ramsey murder case. JonBenét Ramsey was a little 6-year-old girl, for those who aren't familiar with the case, maybe younger people. And she lived with her affluent family in Boulder, Colorado. Her mother was once a beauty pageant queen, and her name was Patsy Ramsey, who decided that her daughter JonBenét should follow in her pageant footsteps. Now, JonBenét was a little pageant princess. She was a very beautiful little girl. One tragic night, on Christmas Day in 1996, in the very late evening hours, JonBenét would be murdered. It all started the day after that when the little girl was found. She was reported missing in the morning, the day after Christmas. Her mother was frantic and they called the police, and shortly after that, the police searched the property, found nothing, but they did find a ransom note that was thought to have been in Patsy's handwriting, and the dollar amount that was the name